Good evening, everybody. Or should I perhaps say good morning? At the time of recording, it is 22 minutes past 5 in the morning on the 2nd of January 2021. Happy New Year. We successfully made it through 2020. Consider us all earning a gold star for that one. It has been a very busy New Year period, mainly due to the fact that the much promised last minute continue website is now online. I've made a decision that it was time, and while there's still a lot of stuff to do, the site is up. There's a new Sonic Rex comic, there's a whole bunch of news, there's an article Donnie's done, which is familiar territory for those of you who used to read his end of year overviews at TSSC. He's continuing that. And I've been pulling some late nights as a result. Now, comes with the territory for me. I am currently on holiday, so naturally enough I've been working my arse off because that's how things always work with me. And I was told that I didn't need to do a show. At least not this week. There's not an LMC cast ready. I guess I could put out something. We could go to the archive, perhaps. But the more I thought about it, with a new site up, a new episode up would be good. And the last episode, you got this episode where I'm very tired, and the previous episode where I was very sad, and the episode before that, which was absolutely crazy. I was thinking about leftovers. After my rather unsuccessful Boxing Day Christmas dinner, I was thinking about leftovers. Because the thing is, I do kind of feel obliged to do the show. Especially when quite a few of the other shows are off. I think it's good for Radio Sega to have some shows still kicking about. I know there's a lot of shows on break and some are off season now. And it's good to have that continuity of at least there being, at least one of the shows on the Sunday. I think that's good. So, as I was saying, I was getting to thinking about leftovers, and there's a notepad file on my desktop which I kind of put the playlists in, or I have been since about episode 212. I think maybe a little bit before then too. And I've been sort of writing down tracks that, I'd quite like to play, and there's some other shows sort of already laid out. And, whatever the case, whatever happens, as we go through those shows, with the hard hour time limit we have, for the most part, some things naturally fall by the wayside. Some tracks we don't get to play because there's just not enough time, or other things come up. But at the bottom of that document, I kind of put them all there so I could come back to them at another time. And I thought, what better way to do that than just at a time where everyone's trying to make use of food leftovers because there's far too much food around, Christmas and New Year, and it would just be rather poetic just to have this show full of leftovers. So that's what we're going to do today. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I have just had no chance to put within a show for whatever reason. And yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna take it relatively easy today on this episode of Radio Redux, just because it's 5:30 in the morning, guys, and I'm pretty tired. And I've got an awful lot of stuff to do today. You get to hear me next week twice, probably, though, if that's good. Hidden Palace is back next Saturday on the 9th, and I'm due to guest on that for the first time. But it's talking about a subject I know a reasonable amount about, so that's good. But first up, in this show of tracks that just didn't make the cut, we've got from Sonic Lost World the Overworld theme from The Legend of Zelda Zone. You may recall that there was indeed Legend of Zelda themed DLC for Sonic Lost World. After which, we're going to go over to Banjo-Kazooie for Attack of the Snippet Mutants. Those are your two tracks coming up first. Enjoy. Yoho? Banjo-Kazooie. Attack of the Snippet Mutants there. I can't even remember why I was going to play Banjo-Kazooie. I think somebody might have said something in the chat at some point in time, or there was a discussion going on about Banjo-Kazooie, and I thought it'd be good to have a track from that within the show. And it was one of those ones maybe that just, it wasn't that important, but it's good to hear some Banjo-Kazooie. So yeah, the new site, it's getting the same amount of traffic LMC always gets, which is so, but it was New Year. I'm not expecting everyone to sort of hammer the door down, but there's a lot of stuff going on with the site. Like I say, a bunch of news stories. I gave Donnie about 3 hours ago, from my point of view, I gave Donnie so many links to news articles that I wanted him to, news articles and stories and tweets and things that I wanted him to cover. I gave him very strict instructions not to do all of these at once. So, as you can imagine, he's done about 5, I think, of these so far. There are about 20 stories. So, I just want you to just keep, calm your tits, man. He's terrible. He's terrible, though. I love him to bits, but he's absolutely terrible. I just want you to take your time. Don't just go for, because with Donnie, he just likes to go bang, 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 and just knock these things out in one sitting. I am of the opinion that, Donnie, I care about your welfare. Please stop. It's not that important. LMC has always very much been about the welfare of the folks first. Probably to its great detriment over the years, I've got to say. But there have been so many people who have had a cup of coffee working for Sonic Rex down the years, and then for LMC, who've then gone on to work for other websites. It's very funny. But yeah, there's that. There's Donnie's article, which I definitely recommend you checking out. The Year in Supersonic Review, I believe the series is called. But there's a lot of the other stuff there. There's the Inside the Pages / First Look comic stories. We've sort of adopted that from TSSC. And it's all about, the news stories are a little bit, I want to get them in their own little niche as a website for LMC. So we're talking about the licensed stuff, we're talking about merchandise, spin-offs, things outside of the gaming necessarily. So, if there's a new vinyl soundtrack out, pro tip, there's a story about that, about Terraria on the site at the minute. There's that, and there's the comics. You guys are probably used to seeing, all the IDW solicitations on here, there, and everywhere. But there's more video game comics than that currently. There's things like Dragon Age, and Assassin's Creed has one, and there's a couple of others. Horizon Zero Dawn, that's one as well. So all of those ones. Mega Man has got one, of course, as well. Mega Man Charged? Mega Man something. It's early / late. Not just that as well. There's going to be more reviews. We're going to get into a bit more about the in-depth stuff. So, to give you an idea of where is that list of mine that I sent Donnie, just out of curiosity, is to give you an idea of all the stuff that's going to be heading onto the site over the course of, probably the next 5 minutes, knowing Donnie. But so I gave him stories about Injustice, Nintendo with Mario, Fire Emblem, Animal Crossing. There's a story about God of War, Sonic, Pac-Man. A lot of stuff going on at Super Nintendo World. Untitled Goose Game, Resident Evil, Pokemon, Dead by Daylight, Sega, in general, Dragon Age, Assassin's Creed, Elder Scrolls. A lot. Well worth checking out. If you don't follow us already on Twitter, go to LastMinContinue, not minute, just LastMinContinue. Do follow us. There's a lot, like I say, a lot going on, and that's all in addition to the stuff we normally do. There's Radio Redux, hello, which is obviously alive and kicking again, and has been for a while. If you're relatively new to the comeback, don't call it a comeback. We've been here for months. But there's that, and LMC Cast, and oh boy, have I found a bunch of stuff for guest control. So that's being added to. Incidentally, all the sort of the active podcasts, including Last Minute Kickout, are working on Google Podcasts, including this one that you're listening to. Working on Google Podcasts. Except LMC Cast, there's still an issue with that, but I'm working with Google on it. Kevin's work is never done, as people will hate me for saying. But yeah, so there's all of that. Speaking of all of that, let's have some more music from the magical list. What is next up? We've got there's a whole bunch of Sega in this. You'll be very pleased to hear. And we start with Yakuza Kiwami 2. And all I'm going to say is it's a track which raises eyebrows based upon its name. So, Yakuza Kiwami 2, Extremely Huge, is your next track up. And afterwards, we've got some Virtua Cop 2. There's quite a few twos in this. Funny enough. Lots of sequel games. So, I'll see you in a bit.
iTunes, Spotify, and Radio Sega. You're listening to Radio Redux.
was Spiral Madness from Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, aka Shooting Star Story. What are the Japanese versions? Always go for such better names. Zero Gravity soundtrack, much like Secret Rings soundtrack, which I've been bagging on about this entire series. Much underappreciated for what it does. Through Traffic continues to be one of my favourite tracks throughout the entire series, and that is one that definitely deserves a bit more praise. But Spiral Madness is up there too. Spiral Madness is one of those ones where you don't know the title necessarily, but you know what it is and where it's from. Before that, the Virtua Cop 2 track that I told you we were going to have was actually the Dance of Death. Very provocative title, the Dance of Death from Virtua Cop 2. We are, 35 minutes into the show already. Fantastic. Viper, by the way, Green Viper, will be furious that this show is been made. He'll be absolutely furious. Because it was Viper who basically told me, look, you don't need to do a show. Like, stop it, you don't need to do a show. I was like, oh, I feel like I should. You don't have to do a show. I was like, well, here is one. Full of, all sorts of things. Even more Sega coming up in a minute. But one of the things that has been a great pleasure over the last few months, realistically the last few months, because it wasn't really on the cards initially, and I kind of came back round to it. One of the pleasures of this process with the new LMC has been finding Sonic Rex again. For obvious reasons, if you know my personal history, I've kind of been very distant from Sega and Sonic, so it doesn't fill me with what it used to fill me with in terms of enjoyment, for one reason or another. They say don't work with your they say don't meet your heroes. Well, don't bloody work with them either. Especially if they're going to treat you like crap. So it's taken a little bit of time to get back to Rex, because it was never really my intention to leave it there, but I put it in a position where it could be left there, in terms of the story. Because of course there was the ongoing story with Metal Sonic winning and everything that's going on. But there's that, and I didn't want to. I couldn't do it justice anymore. There was stuff that I wanted to write and wanted the thing to do and go in a certain direction, but the way comics, the way people had felt about comics changed within the community, and I wasn't in a position really to go where they wanted comics to go. And funnily enough, while the new comic 115 is obviously up and out now and it's fantastic, the next comic that's actually getting done is comic 100, which infamously never got made because it was very, very long, and it was hand drawn, and it kind of charts that change and the feelings of me sort of responding to that change. And it came at a time when, people started hiring, commissioning the official artists on Archie to do stuff from a fan site base, and you couldn't really do anything about that. And people I always talk about how the community is the big wheel and how it turns around, and how the community, as the wheel turns, what the community feels, the Sega Sonic community feels about games and aspects of the franchises. It changes. People, games are sort of held higher and higher esteem until they're sort of knocked off the pedestal, and now they're absolute trash, and then it starts to rise around again, and all the games are like different points on the wheel. It's funny. People are so many people who I've seen playing Unleashed recently, and I mean, people were like, Unleashed is it's 50% or it's 50% okay, and the rest is awful. And it's like, and that's come back round along the wheel, and give it a couple of years, and people are going to be holding up Unleashed as this absolutely amazing game, and why did they make more games like it? And oh my goodness. But where it was, it needed something I couldn't give it. And we had a number of, guest drawers and I mean, hilariously, we've got people who have drawn Sonic, officially for Sega now, who did Sonic Rex comics, and I think that's hilarious. Goes back to what I keep saying to folks, in that there'll come a point in time where everybody will be working for Sega and I won't be. Which it's like so many people after me have now from the community have now gone to it, and it's like it's just really funny. It's just really funny to me. But luckily, I have this fantastic fiance who can draw amazingly well. So Double Cross has drawn 115 and brought it to life, and it was fun from just like a couple's point of view for Rex to be like an actual within LMC art project, because Kat's still very into the series, and I kind of found a bit of joy in the series again through that, and also through Uncutting Crew. And I know Uncutting Crew's not happened for a while, but real life has kind of got in the way of that, unfortunately, when it comes to recording. But so Double Cross has done the art for that, and she's it's fantastic, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that we put in to this. There's all kinds of cameos and things, and there's bits of Boom and Sonic X and all sorts of tie-in stuff. The Redux characters make an appearance again. There's numerous references to various bits within the community. There's characters associated with Emerald Coast gets a reference. There's a Power Rings reference in there. There's a whole bunch of stuff, including some really, kind of obscure Rex stuff, and it's all come together. There's a bunch of stuff, bunch of seeds sown for another day, which won't be obvious. And the fact that we get to continue that, it was so fun to write the script for 115, so fun, and we kind of got groundwork and ideas for a whole bunch more which is great. And my intention is to like take the story through to its conclusion, because it just to not don't leave it. With it was great that to explain the Metal Sonic 1 spoilers for 6 years ago here. Metal Sonic wins via all kinds of nonsense, including a mystical hermit and absorbing his powers. Never mind that. He basically wins because Sonic is such a dick in Sonic Rex. He's such a dick. It's just a horrendously arrogant character. It's Sonic's natural arrogance, but turned up to not 11 necessarily, but turned up to like 9 maybe. And every character plays, and there's a fight with Knuckles, and Sonic basically blows using the Chaos Emeralds to fight Knuckles. They've got all the Chaos Emeralds. There's no danger at that time, but there's a possible threat of them. But he uses the Chaos Emeralds, and of course, what happens when he uses the Chaos Emeralds after he's used them? Well, they disperse again, and Metal Sonic is smart enough to go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to turn up at this point in time, and hey, guess what? You ain't got any emeralds anymore. Gonna kick your ass. But it's going to be interesting how to do it, because there's a lot of stuff there. There's characters that are kind of essential to the plot who haven't been used for a while for a number of reasons, including personal reasons, and we're going to address that. They've been doing. We get back to them. Get back to all these characters later on, and they're still dealing with the consequences of being in this guerrilla war for goodness knows how long now, and it's changed some characters. Stuff's going on. People aren't necessarily the same anymore. Please make note of Cream when you see her in that comic. There's some stuff going to happen with Cream. But we've got that, and we've got Amy's been basically in de facto charge of this army for goodness knows how long, and it's kind of driven her a little bit off the rails. So there's that to deal with. There's a whole heap of stuff. Sonic's basically abdicated all responsibility for sorting this out. And it's definitely like everyone else to pick up the pieces. So there's it's going to be fun. But again, one of the consequences that happened in like comic 46 or something stupid like that, or 64, one of the two. I could probably find out if I really wanted to, because I messaged Donnie about it. Hang on, let me get my Discord conversation up. Scroll, boy, scroll. One of the funniest things for me is the fact that in IDW, Omega's currently a severed head. So he's currently a severed head, which is but it's Omega, so he can do whatever he likes and say whatever he likes. The joyful thing. It was almost a freaking decade, apparently. 2006? Really? Wow, apparently it was 2006. Oh, okay. Well, 2006, we made Omega a severed head. And 14 years later, he's still a severed head. But Omega comes out with the most wonderful lines. Thanks to this. It's a less is more situation. You know, you don't. Omega's good for like firing off a witty retort or something, or just a quick comment. But because it's Omega, Omega can say anything and get away with it. It's great. So will Omega get his body back from that blue egg porn that's currently strolling around with it? I don't know, but it's going to be fun to find out. It's going to be fun to find out. And it's been a very long time since I've been in a position where I feel like working with those characters, and that franchise, that it's fun to do that. And it's kind of strange and kind of telling in a way that me finding that fun has had nothing to do with the franchise itself. Let's have some more music before I have some breakfast. That would be nice. Not normally one for breakfast anymore. It used to be. Religiously, but not anymore. Still, I've got eggs that need sorting, and I've got milk that needs using, so scrambled eggs in a minute is going to be. I can sort that though, while you are listening to some Ecco the Dolphin 2, the Mega CD version of Fin to Feather. Now, this track has been in the playlist for at least three Radio Redux shows since it came back to a Sunday item. And damn it if it hasn't actually made its way in yet. So we're going to rectify that. After which, we're going to have some Streets of Rage 3 and the track Fuze with a Z. And then, well, I'll tell you about the third track after we come back. How about that? You're listening to Radio Redux. Insert tagline here. That was a track that was actually going to be in the last show at one point in time. But I'd already had something from Overclocked Remix's Summoning of Spirits, so I kind of didn't think it would be appropriate to have another track added onto that. But that was from Jazon Phantoms, the track Smile and Forgive, which is a reworking of Colette's theme from Tales of Symphonia. And you can tell from my voice I'm actually a little bit more awake now than I was when I started this show some 45 minutes ago from my point of view. Before that, of course, we had Streets of Rage 3 and Ecco Tides of Time, the Mega CD version. Tales of Symphonia, definitely a game I need to get back to play at some point this coming year. Of course, we've all got various plans, no doubt, that we're hoping to do over the course of 2021. Be interested to hear your gaming hopes. Let us know within the Radio Sega Discord, or alternatively within the LMC Discord. The LMC Discord has been up for a while. We'd be very happy for you to join us. If you want to join, just go to lastminutecontinue.com, and in the top right you'll see a bunch of little squares to the various social groups, and the one with the speech bubbles will take you to our Discord. Alternatively, of course, you can let me know on Twitter. Just tweet at lastminutecontinue with your gaming goals for 2021, and maybe we'll come back to them in another show. Up next, we've got 2 tracks, and I can tell you exactly which episode of Radio Redux these got axed from. It was the Wings of Change episode, where everything was about flying and flight and being in the air and birds and wind and all kinds of things. These were 2 tracks that didn't make it due to time constraints. We were actually hitting our stride straight away with some XCOM 2 and the track First Flight. There's another one that's not made the grade on a couple of occasions. We're following that up with some Initial D with On My Wings, the extended version. This was axed from that show pretty much because of the sheer number of Initial D songs in one of the previous shows, the Time Extension show, the Blister Blacktop. That had some Initial D, and I didn't want to overcook, the Eurobeat pudding. I didn't want to overdo it. So I sort of left a gap, and so XCOM 2 was just lost due to time constraints, but Initial D was natural choice, just to not go through that because we've had so many other tracks. But those are the next 2, after which we'll have another chat.
For 15 years, bringing you the best in video game music. This is Radio Redux.
Yeah. Hope his wings are strong enough to. Hope his wings are strong enough to do it. Anyway, that was Manuel with the extended mix FO of On My Wings from the Initial D Best Song Collection 1998 to 2004. And of course, before that, we had XCOM 2 with First Flight. Just 2 more tracks for this special Leftovers show. And on the more recent Radio Reduxes, we've gone through at least 2 or 3 stories from around the gaming industry about talking about what's going on, and it kind of makes sense to go and do that on this one as well, even though we're taking things a bit easy. So one story that I did want to touch on very briefly is the reveal of the Steam users' top games of 2020. These have been decided by the user ratings. These are the top 150 games based upon those. And there's a lot of surprises in there. And at the same time not. There's some interesting stuff. So the end of 2020, the number 1 game was actually Hades, followed by Factorio. Phasmophobia is at number 3. Helltaker, a game that was, I believe, discussed at length on the end of the year LMC cast with Turbo and Earthheart and Shadow Fox. I think that featured in Earthheart's top 5, and Turbo himself actually, I think, might have had that too. He was certainly playing that recently on stream. Half-Life Alyx is at number 5. The Henry Stickmin collection gets in at number 6. That's the big surprise. Risk of Rain 2 is at 7. Deep Rock Galactic is at number 8. I have no idea what that is. Absolutely no idea. Persona 4 Golden is at 9. Satisfactory 10. Townscaper 11. Ultra Kill makes it into 12. That's one of the later ones, actually, in the top 15 or so, being this game that came along only in September. Senran Banker is at 13. There Is No Game, Wrong Dimension is at 14. Ori and the Will of the Wisps is at 15. Black Mesa 16. Then it's Besieged. ATRI, My Dim Moments at 18. 19 is Monster Train. 20 is Noita. Yakuza Like a Dragon comes in at 21. And just sort of scanning through here for other games that you may be interested in. There's Death Stranding's at number 36. Crusader Kings is at 38. Journey is at 40, and I did not know Journey was on Steam. I did not know Journey was on Steam. I am certainly getting Journey. Similar to games you've played, Firewatch. That's a thing I will be buying. I missed that entirely. That's great. Just going down. F1 2020 is at 54. Untitled Goose Game is at 55. Scroll. Shell Shock Live is at 65. That's something that the NMC team play on occasion. Scrolling for anything Unrailed, which I know is a game that a few people are familiar with. That's at number 111. So you see how much we've gone to scroll down to find something else. Doom 64 is somehow at number 122. Spelunky 2 125. A whole bunch of nonsense. What the Golf is at 149 and deserves better, because What the Golf is ridiculously funny. But you can go and find out these. Just check it out. Oh, actually, I've just scrolled up. I've just seen a couple. Jackbox Party Pack 7's at 84, but Football Manager 2021 is at 86. So if you want to check these out, I'm not making these up. These are quote-unquote impartial games rankings compiled from Steam Gamer Reviews. The best of 2020 can be found at steam250.com/2020. Go check it out. Incidentally, at the time of recording, the best reviewed game of 2021 is the Universim, followed by Do I Smell Pizza at number 2. Predator VR is at number 16 and certainly won't stay there. That's what I can tell you. There is no Sega. Sorry, Radio Sega. There is no Sega at all within the top 34, which currently exists for 2021. Okay, so the last 2 tracks before I go and rest my little head down on a pillow for probably 40 minutes. If I can manage that. I mentioned it earlier, the Blistered Blacktop show, which was the time extension show, which was like the 3 hours of just music. I couldn't fit in a track from Ridge Racer 2. No. Ridge Racer 2, the Kamikaze remix, that's going to come up now as the first track. And the second track, I don't know what it is. I'll let you know momentarily. All I had was the title, which was Deep Blue Edifice, and something that I played recently, and I just noted it down. It's apparently from Phantasy Star Portable 2 Infinity's soundtrack. So that is your final track of the day. That's all from me for another week. Thank you very much for listening in, whether you're doing so on Radio Sega when this episode premieres, whether you're checking it out on Last Minute Continue at a later date, or alternatively you're a subscriber on the likes of Spotify or iTunes or Amazon Music or Google Podcasts or any one of those other places where you can find Radio Redux. Thank you very much. We'll be back in a few weeks, I think Radio Redux will be back in a few weeks. There's still some shows to go before we go into our off-season, the traditional off-season, occurring second week of February. And until then, I'll leave you with this music and my best wishes to you for the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Have a good one. Bye for now.
Bridge operative.